The webinar is hosted by AM&T in partnership with Binghamton University. I'm Carol Miller, the Executive Director at AM&T, and this webinar will be recorded. There will be a link on our website as well as the slides that are associated with the webinar. Our agenda today will include, it's very brief, and will include our speakers, myself, Kimberly, Becky, and Ashley, all from Binghamton University, and be talking on specific topics. I'll be giving an introduction to AM&T, a very brief introduction to AM&T, and then we'll be talking about the Watson Career and Alumni Connections. We'll be giving an overview of the services and resources that are available, the student populations, event offerings, recruiting, and international student internship hiring, and also questions and answers. So very briefly, before I turn it over to Kimberly, is about AM&T. For those folks that are not familiar with AM&T, we're a small private not-for-profit organization. We were established in 1988. We're what's referred to as a manufacturing extension partnership. We're part of a program that's nationwide. There's 51 centers across the United States, every state as well as Puerto Rico, and we're part of the New York MEP system. We're responsible for the Southern Tier region. We're a group of experienced folks, and we offer end-to-end business services. We also connect manufacturers with local, regional, and national resources, and we provide economic impact to our community and our region. We are proud to have accumulated about $750 million of economic impact in our last 5 years of projects we do with manufacturing companies. So with that, I will turn it over to Kimberly to get to our topic for today, which is hiring a student or intern from Binghamton University, Thomas J. Watson School of Engineering and Applied Science. So Kimberly, if you would, please. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carol. Okay, so hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Kimberly Coleman and I'm the director of the Watson Career and Alumni Connections office. We are here from the Watson College of Engineering and Applied Science at Binghamton University. We're here just to talk to you a little bit about our office. We are in charge of overseeing engineering and computer science students within our college. And so we'll give you a little overview about what our office entails and how we can partner together to help you really be able to utilize the talent of our engineering and computer science students. So overall, our office has 4 different professional staff members in it, and we also have 5 different student assistants. We work year round, and so anytime you may have an open opportunity for an internship, a co-op, you're looking for a full-time hire, we are here to help you. And so you can certainly feel free to reach out to us anytime, and we'll be speaking about how we can partner together to really promote those opportunities at your organizations. And so a little bit more about our office. Our office really houses 3 primary things. The first aspect that our office oversees are different employment resources for students. And so we meet with students all the time to talk about their professional and technical resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn, networking, and those types of things. The biggest thing that we do though is that we really help students with their job and internship search assistance. And so one really easy thing that we do just every week is that we do send out a newsletter, and we have companies and organizations reach out to us with open opportunities, and we highlight those, and then we send those out to students. And then we also provide over 60 different job and internships that have been available that week as well. And so that's one really easy way that we can partner together. And there's some more in-depth ways that we can do that as well. Another thing that we help students with is certainly interview preparation and going through mock interviews to make sure that they're nice and prepared for you when they come to you. The second aspect that our office oversees is professional development for students. And so we want to make sure that our students have appropriate professional etiquette and are ready for the workforce. And so all the time we're offering different workshops, we bring in alumni panels, do speaker series, host tech talks that all of our students are able to attend. And so we really do our best to continually enhance our students' professional development. And then the third piece of our office is that we really want to help students build connections. And so we want them to establish those connections with each other, with industry representatives, with, of course, employers, as well as our alumni network base. And so lots of these different things come through in the form of events. And so ultimately, each semester, we offer over 50 different events. Right now, we're sort of in a hybrid mode, and so we're happy to do in-person events if that's something that the company is seeking, or we've done a lot of things virtually as in the past, given the pandemic. And so we do these virtual recruitment events very often, and Ashley will talk to you a little bit more about that in a couple of minutes. And so all the things that we offer to our students is for the ultimate goal of preparing Watson College students for post-graduation success. And so that basically means that we want students to be able to land that job upon graduation or be able to pursue further education. And so usually that means going on to complete either their master's or PhD. And so in thinking about ways that we could potentially partner together with, the companies that are here today, of course, you need to know what student populations Watson College serves. And so at the Watson College of Engineering and Applied Science, we have a little over 3,000 students in our student population. About 2/3 of those students are comprised of undergraduates, and then about 1/3 of them are graduate students. Within the graduate student population, we do have a mix of master's level and PhD level students. Then within that enrollment as well, we do have a decently heavy international student population. Most of those are graduate students. And so that is why we have Becky Greenstrom here today. She's here from the International Student and Scholar Services Office at Binghamton. And those students, in addition to, of course, all of our other students, are always looking for employment opportunities and are very eager to do so. Sometimes they have a little bit more difficulty finding employment. And so we just wanted to make sure that it was easy for you to know how to hire them if that's something that you're interested in. So going back to Watson College, we do have 5 different departments within Watson. The first year program is actually the engineering design division. And so our engineering students enter into the program and then go through this first year program to learn different aspects about each of the disciplines and decide what major they want to pursue during their second year. Then all of our sophomores and beyond are placed within one of the departments. And there's 5 departments. Those are biomedical engineering students, computer science, electrical and computer engineering, mechanical engineering, and the last department is system science and industrial engineering. And so those are both undergraduate programs and graduate programs. And then within the graduate programs, there are some additional specialties as well. Okay, and so at this time, I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, Ashley Mizuraka. She is the Employer Relations Coordinator within Watson Career and Alumni Connections. And she'll talk to you about some different events that we've hosted with companies in the past and how we can collaborate in the future.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Kimberly stated, my name is Ashley Mizuraka, and I'm the Employer Relations Coordinator. So primarily my role is really focused on being kind of the liaison between employers and our students, and helping students land jobs and internships at companies and helping companies market those different types of opportunities. And different ways that you can kind of engage with us and our students is through individual Watson events. So typically, for example, the companies on this call, you would do standalone information sessions where you kind of do a brief description of your company, mention the job or internship that you're looking to fill, and have students attend. These events can be both virtual and in person. We also do different types of events such as like Career Secrets Panel. The Career Secrets Panel is typically the day before the job and internship fair. And really it's just a panel that consists of different employer representatives. They are on a panel and they give tips and tricks to students on how to be successful for the job and internship fair. Another way that you can collaborate with students is through the treks. Typically those are in person, but because of COVID, they are virtual this year. That's when students get to actually go to different cities such as New York City, Boston, Silicon Valley, Washington, DC, and they get to go and do on-site tours and do information sessions in person. How you can recruit our talented students. So there's a plethora of different ways that you can do so. One would be to promote employment opportunities in our weekly job and internships newsletter, as Kimberly stated before. You can also host an information session either virtually or in person, or serve on an employer panel. You can also provide us with information to highlight your company on our social media platforms such as LinkedIn and Instagram. You can also facilitate a site tour or creative events to enhance student professional development. You can also participate in the first annual Watson College Career Expo. This is going to be a virtual event on Wednesday, October 27th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and it's free to attend. I think it would be a great way to collaborate with students and network. And another way you can do so with students is connect with our student organizations. We have 30+ clubs and organizations within the Watson College. We've got student organizations that are associated with every major, as well as the diverse organizations as well, such as NSBE, SWE, SACE, and SHUE. And the best way to engage our students is by creating a hireBING by Handshake account. These are the steps on how to create an account, and the next few slides are kind of detailed instructions on how to do so. We won't go through that with the presentation right now, but after the session today, they will be sent out. The slide deck will be sent out and you can take a look at that. But I did want to mention that Kathy Peacock has graciously given her contact information and stated that if you have any questions or need help setting up your AM&T account, definitely feel free to reach out to her, or you can reach out to us as well. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Becky Greenstrom, the Associate Director of International Student and Scholar Services.
Thank you. So as was mentioned earlier, we do have a lot of international students at Binghamton University, and these students are super excited about any opportunities to get some professional experience. And so we wanted to make sure that you know that it's really easy to hire international students. It doesn't require sponsorship from the employer. So we just wanted to let you know about a couple of those options. So for our students who are currently in a program, they are eligible to do internships after they've completed 1 full year in their program. And the work authorization that students use for these internships is called Curricular Practical Training, or CPT. So to be eligible for this, the students have to have an internship that is directly related to their major. And then they need to get an internship offer letter from the employer. And that offer letter really just needs to include some pretty standard information. Needs to be on letterhead, have the start and end dates, what they'll be doing, and where they'll be working. And so once the student has that internship offer, then they would come to the International Student and Scholar Services office. And that's when they'll apply for the CPT authorization. We review that information as well as the confirmation from their department that it is related to their major. And then we issue them the work authorization. And it usually takes us about 1 to 2 weeks to issue that authorization. So we encourage students to plan ahead whenever possible. And then we issue them a document called an I-20, and that has their work authorization on it. And so they would then present that to you as the employer so that you could complete the I-9 paperwork, and then they're good to go. Students who have CPT authorization are eligible to apply for a social security number. And so it's a really streamlined process. The only thing that we need from the employer is that offer letter. Then there's a different opportunity for students who have completed their degree program called Optional Practical Training, or OPT. This, again, is very simple from the employer standpoint. There's no sponsorship needed, but OPT allows students to work for up to 12 months following their graduation, as long as they are doing work that is directly related to their major again. Again, it's for students who have to have completed 1 full academic year, usually not an issue as they're doing this after they've completed their program. And the way this process works is a little bit different because it's not authorized by the International Student Office. We help the students with the application process, but it's actually an application that they have to send to the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service. And their processing time can take 3 to 6 months. So we encourage students to apply for this at the beginning of their last semester so that they hopefully have the authorization by the time they graduate. Once it's approved by USCIS, they receive a card called an Employment Authorization Document, or EAD card. And that is the document that, again, they would show to you as the employer for the I-9 process. In both of these cases, there's no cost to the employer, there's no legal fees involved, there's no visa sponsorship. This is all things that students are eligible just as part of their F1 student visa status. So just wanted to make sure that you understand that. If you have questions, I am happy to answer anything about that process.
Great. Thanks, Becky. Okay, and so within the Watson College, we definitely have a very competitive program with a rigorous curriculum. And so students are coming in, they're very high caliber students. And then as they're going through Watson College, we know that they're getting a very strong education. And so we're very confident that if you do decide to take on one of our interns or students as a full-time hire, that you'll be very pleased with the students that you work with. And so this slide just shows some of our Watson accolades. The students are, getting high paid positions at competitive companies. And so we know that you'd be happy with them if you do decide to hire them. Again, we are more than happy to walk you through the process of posting jobs and internships and potentially collaborating with us more to work with our students. And so we'll send out this slide deck as soon as the presentation concludes. We are very grateful that you came to the session today to learn a little bit more about Watson College and how to hire our students. And I just want to reiterate, when you do create that hireBING by Handshake account, the slides that are shown, they weren't shown here today, but the slides that you will be receiving have very step-by-step guidance with screenshots and arrows showing you exactly what to do and how to navigate through that process. But again, Kathy Peacock at AM&T, more than happy to help you, as are Ashley and I. So thank you again, and we'd love to open it up for questions now.
Great. Thank you very much, Kimberly, Ashley, and Becky. That was wonderful. In fact, this is very timely because so many manufacturers are experiencing workforce issues. And this is one way of combating that, with some extra capacity and some real expertise to bring into your organization. And as far as how easy it is to do the Handshake account and posting, we did it ourselves just to see what that was like. And it was very quick and it was very easy. So thank you. And the instructions are very simple. Also, one of the things I wanted to highlight that folks might be interested in is if a manufacturing company, there may be grant money available to do a project with an intern. If there's a defined project with a deliverable, we may be able to help find funding to offset some of the costs associated with that. So that is a possibility. So please keep that in mind as well. So with that, we can take some questions.
Okay. Yeah, so really just some of the questions relative to internship. Is it typically aligned with a semester? I mean, what's the timing on it and the expectation of length?
Yeah, definitely. So, yes, that's up to each company, I would say. The vast majority of our students do their internships over the summer, I would say. And typically, that would start at the end of the academic year. So it would start in either late May or early June and span until the end of August. But definitely there are students who complete internships simultaneously to their degree program in the fall and the spring as well. Certainly sometimes we'll even offer micro internships, which are a very short stint, just a couple of weeks, maybe over the winter term, for example, depending on what exact needs your company has. So we can be very flexible with that, and it's really based on company needs.
And the expectation of cost to the employer internship, how does that all work?
Yeah, I would say, we did a survey recently for last summer and how much our students were getting paid. And so typically the average stipend was about $3,000 to $5,000 for that full summer term. So that's about 3 months in total. And so that's typically the average. We don't encourage that students take unpaid internships, or, we prefer that students are compensated because they do have such strong skill sets. But there are certainly unpaid internships that come about that students are eager to take, so that way they can get professional experience.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Kevin. There also is an opportunity, correct, Kimberly, for hiring a student not through an internship program, correct? You can post to do non-internship hire?
Oh, definitely. Students don't have to complete the internship for academic credit. They can just do so for their own professional gain, and many of our students do that.
Where there's where you're interacting directly with the student and negotiating whatever specific deal that is, and that can also take place during the academic year, from what I understand.
Yes, definitely. Yep, and then students can get credit for that. So you're right, that's definitely an opportunity that if students gain academic credit, maybe they'd be a little bit more inclined to take an unpaid internship because they do get that toward their academic curriculum. So that's something that usually they would deal with their department directly to see how that aligns with the program.
Great. Yeah, because I know of a couple companies that have hired sophomores and can keep them for a couple of years if they're looking to build on their team and have more of a longer term engagement.
Definitely. Some students love returning to their internships. And then ultimately, the goal would be to hire them full time if you're very happy with them and if they're open positions.
Excellent. And we are hoping to offer additional sessions for other programs that are available. We will be partnering in the October job fair, and we're hoping that folks come out and take advantage of that because there's a lot of opportunities for building your internal expertise and staff. So we were asking, one of the questions mentioned the handshake process. Being very quick and easy. Yeah, it was because, we believe in, we try to practice what we preach, and we try to make sure what we're bringing to folks is achievable or easy, because we were teasing before we started today, manufacturers are always busy and we need to bring the highest value in the short amount of time. So if no one else has any questions, and you are welcome after today to reach out to the contact information that will be in the slides. We are so glad that you came today. We will be sending out an email with the link to this recording as well as to the slide deck after this session. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact AM&T or Binghamton University. And with that, I will thank you again for joining us today, and be safe. And we finished 5 minutes early. I'm impressed.
All right. Bye. Thank you everyone for being here. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much.